following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Nicky Spagnola.
Yeah. Go! Go! Dallas Cowboys! It's the go team of the senior pros. Let the whole world hear our bugles blow. Stand up! Stampede! Go you Dallas
Ah, yes. Another Victory Monday inside the SWBC podcast studio. And we've got two reasons to celebrate victories on this Monday. At noon, Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola. The Cowboys victorious on Saturday, and all of us were victorious on Sunday, Christmas Day, right?
That's right.
Everybody had a successful Christmas.
Successful.
Okay, very good. And now it's a short week. Cowboys locker room was open an hour ago. Mickey Spagnola has emerged from there. We're getting ready for the Tennessee Titans now on Thursday night, right, Mickey?
He smells like a locker room. Go ahead.
On to Tennessee, right? We got no time to dawdle around, right? We got to get moving.
Come on, man. We can't have some fun and talk about, what just happened. And
No, we're going to talk about what just
okay.
happened
We're
for
going
sure.
to talk about it for a long time.
All right. Any news from the locker room? Any breaking news from the locker room? Because you just got back from there.
You know what? I printed out my snap counts, and they didn't print out.
Well, is there anyone in particular you need to know about?
Well,
yeah,
I'll let you know.
I've got it called up right now.
I'll let
As
you
we're
know.
starting the show, I'm writing down snap counts.
I got the page with the two guys at the bottom, right?
Which are the kicker
But
and the punter.
the main one didn't print out.
Okay. Well, if you got
there it is. Oh, never mind.
Oh, right.
I'm good.
Here we go.
Ready
So,
to go.
Now,
so
let's
to
start
kick
the
off,
show.
so to kick off this edition of Mick Shots, Mickey will read off the snap counts for Saturday's game.
Absolutely, because there are a couple we'll get to. Sam Williams is cleared to practice.
Okay, that was my first question. I wanted to know whether or not you saw him in the locker room.
And he is also cleared to live, by the way. How about this? Guess when he bought his new car?
Friday.
I know.
Wednesday night. Wednesday night. He didn't even have it 24 hours before
So the accident occurred on Thursday?
Thursday, 2 o'clock in the afternoon,
Yep.
maybe, something like
That's
that.
right, because it was he had just left the facility, I assume.
He was headed home to get with his family that came in for Christmas, and his brand new, probably had stickers still on it, right?
It did.
2022 Z06 Corvette
Yeah,
demolished,
best car in the world. Love Corvettes.
just demolished. And
I saw the footage of it.
he was, he understood. He said, my first thoughts were, thank God, it could have been worse, and immediately thought about my son and his mother, and that how fragile life is, that it could have been over. Mm-hmm. Somebody said, "You have your seatbelt on?" He goes, "Oh yeah, because if I didn't, I'm not.
That was it.
I'm not here." And he was talking about getting out of the car. He said he had to push a button to get out of the car, and the lady's car was smoking. And they went over to her car, and he said there was a bunch of people there. They had their phones out, and he goes, "We couldn't get the door open. We had to wait till, the emergency vehicles got there."
Right.
And they said, "Well, who'd you call first?" And he goes, "My hands were so cold I couldn't dial on my phone. They put me in the squad car or whatever, and he was able to dial, and he dialed here and Brian Wansley and Cable to let him know what happened. But yeah, he said he's he said, and I called, and I'm paraphrasing, right? He goes, you never know when that's going to happen. I called every family member I could think of and just let them know that I was okay and how much I loved him. So
That's crazy, man.
He was,
I didn't know it was,
Yeah, you hear
Because
reports that he was involved in a car accident, and it came out that he was taken in the driver of the other vehicle. They were taken to the hospital
for observation,
or with minor injuries.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Well, he's got scars all over his head, and I was thinking, oh, he must have hit his head on this or that, and somebody pointed out that it looked like bruises from your airbag exploding in your face.
Probably,
And I didn't realize it was hot. I've never had a airbag explode on me. But yeah, he was kind of bruised up. But other than that, he was good. He said when he woke up Saturday, he said I was good to go. I can play. And they told him, no, just take the day off. So he said I spent the day yelling at my television.
Hey, tell them to welcome to the club.
Right?
Yeah.
He said I spent the day yelling at the television, and I forgot the term he used. He said, C.D. Lamb turned me up. So he was big on CD's performance. Yeah. So that was probably the biggest thing that came out of the locker room, that he's fine and good to go.
And the fact that he's talking to the media and everything.
Yeah, at first they
good.
didn't. He said he didn't want to talk about it on camera, and then towards the end, we kind of made small talk with him. Then he stood up and said, "Okay, let's do this."
Let's do it. Okay.
So good.
Thank
All right.
God for that.
Yes, very good.
Also saw Terrence Steele. He's already had his surgery. Big old crutches, big old knee brace, but he's on his way.
When you're a big old man, you got big old crutches and big old knee braces. All right. What a game and what an entertaining game on Christmas Eve. And now, as we do turn our attention towards Tennessee, it's very interesting going forward. Coming out of that game, Cowboys, injury-wise, came out of it well, right, Mickey?
Yes.
The Eagles did not.
They lost Lane Johnson. I didn't check.
Lane Johnson apparently has a torn tendon in his abdomen and is probably out for the next couple of weeks. They hope to get him back for the playoffs.
Okay.
And Avonte Maddox, he's got a significant toe injury, according to reports, and so he's out. And he was playing lights out the early part of that game.
Right.
The cornerback slot corner for them.
So, yeah, they did. But I didn't see – I mean, we didn't get an injury report after the game of the Cowboys. So, I think everybody actually got through it and good to go.
The other thing, just mention this, and we want to get into a lot of the Eagles. Tennessee's got nothing to play for on Thursday. I mean, when you look at the standings in the AFC South, Tennessee plays Jacksonville in the season finale. Jacksonville would beat Tennessee a couple of weeks ago, and so it doesn't matter whether Tennessee wins or loses this game because Tennessee lost to Houston. They're going to be within one game of each other, no matter what the results are this week. So Tennessee will probably rest players this week. Derrick Henry, I mean, their important game is next week against Jacksonville.
Wow.
Doesn't matter what they do against the Cowboys, they have to win the Jacksonville game to make the playoffs, win their division. And
don't you think they should use this as a nice practice game, though?
If they lose, they're a game behind.
I'll have to pull up the standings here.
I just want to say, because they're tied
They're game
7 and 8 right now, right? But Jacksonville beat them.
Right, and so even if they lose and Jacksonville wins this week, okay, Jacksonville would have a one-game. Well, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
No, Tennessee's ahead of the Jacksonville in the standings.
I thought they were both 7 and 8.
Let me see. Let me look it up here.
I think I'm pretty sure on that.
Maybe it's if they were even. If Tennessee beats Jacksonville, they must have a better division record or something to give them the tiebreaker.
At this point,
yeah. I'm looking that up.
They're
you
both
talk
7
about,
and 8.
But
they're both 7 and 8.
They're both 7 and 8.
They're both 7 and 8.
What my point was, though, even if they lose and Jacksonville wins and they're a game behind, if they beat them, then they've split.
They've split, and so whatever the division record
will decide it.
They must have a better division
But
record.
for Jacksonville, Yeah, I mean, if they win that last game against them, they're in.
Well, both
right?
teams.
Yeah.
Both teams. It's going to be a winner-take-all
Yeah.
last game. Point being, Tennessee's got nothing to play for. Now, tell me what you thought about the Cowboys and the Eagles. Everson, you go first.
I thought it was a very unnecessarily exciting game. I mean, I did enjoy, how we were resilient in almost every phase of the game. But when I look at our defense, I keep going back to 1981. I keep going back to last year to where, not being able to stop our offensive teams, not being able to stop them from moving the chains, it always catches up with you if you show that pattern. I don't care if you change it sometime early on before the playoffs start. If you're not careful, those same bad habits rear their ugly heads when it comes down to those drives where you need it in the playoffs. Right now, this team looks great. It's exciting. But I still don't see defensively the toughness that you need, the consistency that we need from our pass rush and our pass defense. Now, having said that, I love the turnovers. That's great. Minshew's interceptions, those weren't bad passes. Those were great interceptions. Now, let's just be real about that. Those were hell of interceptions by J-Ron Kearse, catching it with one hand while covering the wide receiver. And, of course, with Bland, just him taking that ball away from him. That's one of the gutsiest moves I've seen a defensive back make here in a long, long time. Of course, you got guys making plays, making interceptions. But for him to not give up on that play when it was could have been just a completion, and in the clutch like it was, those were some clutch turnovers. But I hate to have to depend on that defensively for us to win the game. You're asking a lot from your offense. A whole lot from your offense, and it's just unfair.
Well, that's who this team is now. In my books,
I guess you're right.
Right? The offense got to score 30-something or 40 to be able to
That's scary
win
to
games.
me. That's scary to me.
You got a backup quarterback, and I know Minshew has started and he's played in the league, but until they had 10, the Eagles had 10 possessions.
Mm-hmm.
The only times the Cowboys stopped them from scoring were the takeaways and the first time in the entire game on downs on the last drive.
That's correct.
They had not stopped them on downs until that drive. And
it wasn't like offensively we had things under control.
No,
we needed those
scrapping.
offensive drives.
Yes. And so here's two things I said to myself during the game that I thought were indicative of the whole thing. The first one was after the interception for a touchdown on
The pick six.
first possession. I said to myself, this effing team. Right?
Dude, I think that's the worst you've ever talked on this show.
Let's
I don't think he's ever said that on the show, has he?
let's
Do you think he really said it like that,
yeah.
or did he say it a different way?
Well, we know what you said, but the fact that you made reference to it, that's really saying a lot.
That's right.
And I was like, do you have to just create this mountain that you have to climb?
Once we did that, we got them right where we want them, right?
And then on 3rd and 30, I said this out loud, I said, so how would you like to be the offensive coordinator with this play call? Right? And as I found out, it was pretty simple.
It was simple.
T.Y. Hilton said we had a go on both outsides. And I said, so to me, I was thinking it was like the playground. You run as fast as you can to the red kettle. I'm going to throw it as far as I can, and you turn around and jump and catch it.
That's it.
Right? Just like we're out in the street. And by God, if that didn't happen, because there's no 3rd and 30 play call on that play sheet, right? You got to make that up. And it's like, and you don't plan for that, especially since 2 plays before both failed, right? You lost yardage.
You don't want to
30.
depend on that.
Right.
That's what you just don't want to depend on that kind of greatness to pull yourself out of it. Now, having said that, This just lets you know we could have been doing this all year long. I mean, most teams that you see play now, they take a deep shot at least 3 times a game.
Right. And this one you were forced to.
We've only done 2 the entire season.
And that was a 33-year-old man running down the field.
Yeah.
And Dak had to throw the ball. I'm thinking since it was a 53-yard completion, he had to be 7-10 yards deep, right? I mean, he threw the ball almost 60-some, 70 yards.
On the dime.
On the dime.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And I thought that just changed the entire momentum of the game. And as T.Y. told us here a little while ago, he said, you know what? He goes, if I didn't get my legs tangled up, he goes, I'm scoring because the safety ain't bringing me down.
Yeah.
He goes, but I got my legs tangled. And he thought that when he took off and he knew he was even with Slay, he said, oh, I got this.
Yeah, well,
he goes,
wide receivers usually know that.
because he said, I got another gear. He ain't seen it yet. He's just the best. And how about this? So with family in town, my brother-in-law played baseball at FIU. So he decided, I need to put my sweatshirt on. So he puts his FIU sweatshirt on and T.Y. Hilton stars, right? I told T.Y. Hilton the story, and he goes, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
That's pretty cool, yeah. So, I mean, do you think that from here on we're going to get more consideration for deep passes? I mean,
Well, I don't know, but all I know is that's 8 straight games scoring 25 points or more. That's pretty strong.
it is.
And you know, I know the Eagles didn't have their quarterback, but they had their defense, right? Except for when Maddox got hurt. And they were pretty good defensively all year. And you put that many points on them?
They can say what they want about the backup quarterback. The way we scored on their defense,
Right.
that's indicative of how good we are offensively right now.
Well, the way that game was playing out the first 3 quarters, so Mickey, you pointed out, they were scoring virtually every possession. I mean, how much better could Jalen Hurts have done?
Right, yeah.
It's not much. Well, when you look at it, Jalen has one game that's better passing yards
Then 355.
I think he had 380 something.
Now this
the Colts.
Yeah, this is the difference, though, is and the thing that Jalen Hurts has done, and I mean, you pointed out great how Cowboys couldn't stop them. Well, they were able to get those turnovers in the fourth quarter and get the stop at the end of the game.
And they count.
Yeah. When Hurts is the quarterback for them, and one of the great things that he's done this season, he's thrown 5 picks, but his ability to run the football, giving them a second running back, they've been able to control games, and they haven't turned the ball over. On the season, they're like tops in the league in giveaways, and they gave the ball away 4 times in this game. That has the total reflection on the game is different. They have control of the games when he's been in there.
No doubt.
But he's also, with 5 picks on the season, he's been prone to throw a pick here and there too. So there's no saying that he wouldn't have done the same thing, because those weren't bad throws Minshew made. Yeah, they were good defensive plays that both Curse made and Bland. Yeah. So, all right, we're just getting started on this edition of Big Shots as Mickey counts up all the snap counts.
That's right. I got them now.
Right from Saturday's game, and we've got much more when we continue in just a moment.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What do you call a group of grown men and women with their faces painted silver and blue who get together every week to share a 3-hour-long ritual of jumping, singing, and toasting Miller Lite in 10-gallon hats while yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You call it Miller Time in Dallas. Here's to the Cowboys. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
Cape Post Roofing and Waterproofing, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. From corporate homes to your home, have your roof checked by choice, not by chance. Call now, 214-225-4860, capepostcompany.com.
Okay, do we want to look at our picks to click from the game on Saturday?
Something must have happened.
I think we
Let
do.
me see. You guys must
Well,
be
I know
feeling
what
good
happened
about
with
yourselves.
Everson.
Well, we sure didn't get the scores right, I'll guarantee you that.
Let me see.
You were in the 30s, weren't you?
I had 30-26 because remember
Yes, your gas. He filled up his tank and it was $30.
I thought, the cold weather was coming in. The cold weather.
I did not know that.
No, the
bro.
cold weather was coming in, and so because it fell on Thursday morning. Okay, which was our last show, right? And it fell down. I mean, the temperature was plummeting. It was down already to 26 degrees, on its way to 6 degrees. I said, I'm going to top off my tank. And so I'm just going to put $30 in, Everson. And so it came out to 30-26. And so that was my score, 30-26.
Well, that
very well, it missed it by only 10 points, Mickey.
10, okay.
40-34, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was your pick?
None of the scores were what the crowd. I think mine was 28-24.
Okay.
Mine was?
So
We were close.
So I'm
was
closer.
Like 27-18.
Something like that.
You were 27-18?
Yeah.
I didn't think
Okay,
that
what
defense
was the
would be
That was
that
like the halftime.
And my player was D-Law. My player was
No,
D-Law.
your player was Sam Williams.
No, you gave me another shot. You gave me another shot. You said you were going to give me grace, and you did.
Because you made your pick, because an accident occurred Thursday afternoon. So I said it's a Christmas season. I'm in a giving mood. You can go ahead and get a mulligan. And so you went with D-Law.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mickey, do you remember who you
And
picked?
Sam Williams got a mulligan, too.
Yes, he did, my brother.
Did I pick Dak Prescott?
No.
I think
No.
You may have.
I think I
No,
did.
Chris has it because he sent it to me, I think.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking
Yeah,
through text messages right
He's like,
now.
I have it.
I don't have it.
You don't
Well,
have
who'd
it.
you pick, Bill?
I don't even remember.
Oh, Lord.
Who did I picked Pollard. I picked Tony Pollard.
Well,
Okay.
you're out, so I'm the
You're
only
out.
one that could win.
Okay, so you win. Okay,
Yeah.
Mickey wins. All right, what else is on your legal pad?
A couple things. So we saw how they started off the game at cornerback with Deron Bland playing left corner, Mackenzie Alexander playing in the slot. And then suddenly they made a change. They put Nashawn Wright out at left corner when they had to go nickel and moved Bland back inside. And checked out, this is what I was looking for the snap counts. Deron Bland played 94% of the snaps, 67 of 71. And Nashawn Wright, and I got to go back and look this up, this might be the most snaps he's played in a significant game with the game still on the line.
Right.
He played 38 snaps, 54%, and Alexander played 14. So I'm wondering if this is indicative of what they do going forward. Because I thought Nashawn Wright played pretty well.
Yeah.
And his high number of snaps this season has been 19 against Jacksonville.
And I'll guarantee you this is probably for his career. I was just talking to him, And he goes, well, man, he goes, I understood my role, but you had to be ready for your opportunity. And for some reason I left my play-by-play behind, but I think I can find it on here. On Philadelphia's last drive, he made the tackle. So
on the second and
it was the 2nd and 5 play, maybe, because I wrote down right, so he must have made the tackle. It was a 6-yard gain, I think, and he kept the guy.
That was the first play of the drive.
Was it
6 yards to Zach Pascal?
There was another one though. It was later because I wrote down right.
And he stopped the guy from making.
He
a
stopped the
first
guy
down.
from getting out of bounds. And he said, I realized when I was talking to him today that I had to keep him from going forward. I forced him to go out backwards.
Yeah.
And he said, and he goes, go back and look at it. And for those of you that are watching this, he said after I did that, I was winding my arm.
Yes, that's
Yeah, I
right.
saw that.
That's right.
I saw
Clock's
that.
got to
No,
run.
that was I believe on the first play.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he said I was
Yes.
winding
Well,
my
the other
arm.
thing he
I was
did-
helping the referee out, right?
The other
he said,
thing-
but I
Both
knew
of
I
them were
had
doing
to.
it at the same
I told
time,
him I
yeah.
knew I had to keep him from going forward. So pretty good play on his part.
That shows that he understands the rule on it
Yes,
too,
right.
because he was right on the sideline. I mean, if the official could have blown that call,
Right. I was surprised that he did wind it.
Well,
The other thing
he
he-
took a look at last week.
Yeah.
Was it last week or was it the Jacksonville game where J-Ron was trying to keep the guy from going
And he
out of
scrambled
bounds.
out of bounds.
Scrambled out of
His
bounds.
forward progress.
Yes.
I mean, he
so
was
that's
able-
something. I'm sure that was a teaching point
Right.
in the meeting room
Sure.
after that game.
What was
The
other
other
one?
thing Wright did on the 2nd and 10 play at the 19-yard line, Devontae Smith in the back of the end zone. Now, he was going to be hard-pressed to get his feet down anyway,
Yeah,
but
right.
he knew the rule there, and he forced him out of
He
the
sure
back
did.
of the end
That was
zone.
good.
So I'll be interested to see what they do going
And
forward.
the thing on LaShawn Wright is when the Cowboys drafted him, they got a lot of the so-called draft experts said, "Oh, they took him 2 rounds too high, whatever." They knew when they drafted him that he might take some time, in making the transition into the NFL.
Yeah.
But if you look at his college tape at Oregon State and you look at how he's played, I mean, he's got some feistiness to him. He's got some
little
playmaking
some
ability.
intellect.
Yeah,
A little intellect
yeah,
also.
there you go. And
he had eight tackles.
and
six solos.
he's got that physique they're looking for,
Yeah, what is he? You say 6'4"?
6'4", yeah.
Man, that's pretty cool.
Right.
We hadn't had a cornerback around here that tall. I don't think ever. Have we ever had a 6'4" cornerback?
Well, they moved that guy to safety. It was Mukwamu. In that same draft,
okay,
right?
I understand. But other than that, that's unique around here. to
And
have
that
a
was his
cornerback
biggest
that big.
opportunity. That was his biggest opportunity.
He had 2 pass defense. He had 1 tackle for a loss. That's major contribution.
Right. And he said when we were talking about it, waiting for his turn and everything, he goes, I'm not new to the situation. He goes, there's millions and thousands of people dying to be in my shoes. And I thought that was a pretty good, okay, I understand my role, but I got to be ready when the opportunity comes.
He was active. He
Right?
was active the entire game. I
okay,
like that.
let me ask you this. You asked if we ever had a 6'4" cornerback.
Cornerback.
Now, what height 60 years ago would have been the equivalent height to a 6'4" cornerback now? When you just
6'2".
6'1".
About 6'2".
Cornell Green was 6'3". So there's your quote unquote 6'4"
Cornell was a
cornerback
stud, man.
that the Cowboys
but he
had
was
once upon
also
a time.
a safety, like you were talking. He moved to safety. I got all pro at both positions.
Yeah.
That is something that's unique as well.
Now, speaking of corners, with Bland, when was the last time they had a rookie corner with 5 interceptions?
Picks. Everson?
And those, well, yeah, of course.
No, I think I saw something different.
Oh, the
they
last
said
time.
the
The last time.
Last
Yeah,
time.
Yeah. We got to go back too far for me.
Actually, he said Bland. It says Bland's 5 interceptions are tied for 4th all time among Cowboy rookies, and ranks 2nd among NFL rookies behind Seattle's Tariq Woolen with 6.
who's a Pro Bowler
That's
out
right.
of Fort
So the
Worth,
last
Arlington
time-
Heights High
That's
School,
right.
runs a 4.2 something, and he's and how tall is he?
He's about
Right.
6'4". That's right.
And now these, last time a rookie had 5 picks.
Mickey said his name like if he
What
was
did I
ever-
say it?
You said somebody named Tariq Woolen. I mean, that's what it sounded
He's
like,
only
right?
balling. He's only balling out. He's
right.
only balling out of his mind, Spag.
Well, I don't know who he is. I'm sorry.
Sorry, we thought you were a reporter.
Yeah, I don't report on 32 teams, okay?
I love it. Go ahead. Give me the list. I want the list.
When did he do it?
Tariq?
Yeah.
This year.
Okay. He's doing
He's
it
a rookie
now, so
this year. He
can
made
get
the Pro
more.
Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah,
He ran
he
like a
did more.
4.29 at the combine.
Okay.
You need to look inside my big green
Good,
notebook.
good for him.
Copy that stuff for him.
The last was 2002. Smart guys. Okay, who was it?
Rookie in 2002. That's right before
Well,
Terrence
I know what
Newman.
school he went to.
Oklahoma.
I was going to say Ohio State.
Roy Williams.
Roy Williams is one, but he was a safety.
Yes, that's right.
And the other,
So they're
Derek Ross.
that
Where
same
you go to
year?
school?
Same year.
Ohio State? I don't know.
No, Derek Ross went to. I thought he went to
I don't know.
A&M Amarillo.
I remember one kid. I remember they had one kid around here. I don't remember his number, but he had gotten a few interceptions. He was really feeling himself. And he's like, yeah, man, I've been balling. He's telling the reporters, he's like, man, what's the record for interceptions
I'll
here?
have you know, Derek Ross
Ohio State
went to
University.
the Ohio State University.
That's the guy
Boom.
I'm talking about. Bam. That's the guy I'm talking about right there.
Who was the guy that went to A&M? What's the college in Amarillo?
It's actually in Canyon.
Canyon.
That would be Dwayne Thomas.
No. In 2002, smart guy.
Hey, man, we got so much information here,
Yeah.
man. You
All
know.
right.
All right,
Well,
we'll
tell
keep
me-
running
We're
down your
just trying
list.
to put
Who
it
is it?
together. We're
Who
just trying
is
to put
it?
it together for you. That's all.
He was the knucklehead that was a rookie and didn't show up for his first day of training camp. And he didn't call
It
in.
was West Texas State University,
Yeah,
and
West
now
Texas
it's
State. Thank you.
West Texas A&M.
Yeah. Okay. West Texas.
But no, I just remember the guy because he was feeling happy
A&M
about those few
Amarillo.
interceptions. And
Well, it was.
It is. I mean, Canyon is a
I
suburb
told you
of
where it
Amarillo.
was.
Who else is on that list?
I want you to tell me who it was.
I have no idea.
Okay.
You're the master.
That's it.
Tell us, sir.
Just those two.
Just
guys.
those two, okay.
They were the last two. Yeah.
No, but who else was on the list? I'm
On
trying to
what
get to
list?
Evers. You said that.
I only have these two guys. The last time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't have who's.
Can we
tied
say who has
for
the most
fourth.
as a rookie?
Well, we probably would be very comfortable pointing that out.
Yeah, I got you.
And how many was that?
That was a lot.
21.
It was a lot.
It's 11.
It was a lot.
11 and 2 in the postseason.
A lot
for
of
13.
It was a lot of them. A lot of them. That's what
Give
it was.
me the media guide.
Mickey's going to look up something in the media guide, and we're going to have the results of whatever he looks up coming up next here on Mick Shots.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
The season is finally here. For months, we've been gearing up to win. Now it's time for the team that performs on any field United Ag and Turf. With John Deere zero turns for mowing, compact tractors for loading, mini excavators for digging, Gator utility vehicles for hauling, implements for grading, hay tools for baling. United Ag and Turf, for winning. The official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com for more.
Back to Mick Shots.
Need a last-minute holiday idea? Oh, it doesn't say Christmas. It says holiday, so we can qualify this. Give the gift of the Cowboys with a Dallas Cowboys United membership. Gift your super fan an annual fan club membership and fan pack for as little as $20. 'Tis the season. Learn more at DallasCowboys.com/United. I don't know why. Learn looked like lean to me.
Wow.
Okay, we continue on with Mick Shots.
Christmas hangover.
Final 10 minutes of the show here. Mickey has the much anticipated answer to his own trivia question about the Cowboys DB from West Texas A&M Amarillo. And it was in the 2000 season, and the answer is?
Kareem Larimore.
Kareem Larimore.
Yes.
No wonder I didn't get it right. I was looking up Lattimore. Kareem Larimore out of West Texas A&M.
Well, I'm glad we got that off.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's great
All
stuff.
right. Now that we got that cleaned up, let's go on to what's important.
And what is important is how the Cowboys are back to work after a Christmas holiday of one day. And Mike McCarthy has his press conference at 3 o'clock this afternoon.
That's right.
Okay.
And so for this offense that needs to keep functioning at a high level, what does 2 targets to T.Y. Hilton do for opposing defenses, knowing that he had a PI on the first one?
He should have had a PI on the second one.
And he was
That's
being
right.
held.
That's right.
Really
He had an
just
answer
all
for
over.
that, too.
What did he say?
He said, I didn't realize I was being held until I went back and looked at it. He goes, when growing up as whatever wide receiver, I'm just supposed to make contested catches.
That's it.
Love it.
He's been doing it. And see, it's not just his speed. This guy is shifty in the slot, which I don't want to take CD out the slot because CD is balling out of control. But he is able to do the to perform the intermediate routes as well as the deep route. He is, to me, the closest we're going to get to Amari Cooper in regards to being precise in everything that he does.
So that was the other one I was going to look up.
Oh, and by the way, I'd like to give the Twitter people some love. Mr. Tiefers says Wright made the tackle on 3rd and 2 that prevented a first down and held them to a field goal.
Oh, earlier in the game.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's right. He did.
So yeah, these are clutch plays made by a clutch player.
Mm-hmm. So Hilton was on a pitch count, and I think McCarthy, they asked him, and he said, I don't know, it was like 20 or 30. He had 12 snaps. That's it. So I'm imagining those 2 plays, the cornerbacks, their hair is going to be standing up on edge now.
Those were some good cornerbacks that were beating.
Yeah.
That's a good secondary.
Slay,
that
right?
They were
I think it was Slay both times.
Yes.
As
And
I
Slay
remember.
said, now the safety was supposed to get over the top.
Yeah, I would have said it too.
Well, now, hold up now. I've been there too. Now, hold up. I mean, nobody believes me. Come on. But no, when you,
That's why he
I
didn't
don't
run
know
as
if that
fast
was
to
a
keep up with
two-man-
him.
Well, I don't know if that was a 2-man, but he looked like he was trying to stay even with him. And I don't know. That to me, that just looked like a perfect pass. But you did see the safety come over late.
Yeah.
Now
on the 53
on the 53.
yard.
Now I didn't know if he came from the middle of the field or did he come from half the field. I didn't see the pre-snap lineup. And so if you see the pre-snap alignment, then you'll know what defense they're playing.
I don't think he was single high. I think he had
That half.
Half the field. If he's got half the field, he's got to be over there. But he was too late.
Yeah.
He was too late. And hey, I don't mind beating safeties as well.
But it wasn't like the safety said, okay. I mean, the corner said, "I'm playing underneath because I got help."
Mm-hmm.
He was running as fast as he can.
He was mad that the safety didn't come over. That was his post-game comment.
So
he said, "My safety has got to be there."
Yeah, well, I would have said it too. So,
would you have said that in the post-game comments?
If it ain't true, I wouldn't say that. I'm not going to throw my safety under the bus. I can't. Mike Downs, I throw Mike Downs under the bus. That's what I do.
And he didn't throw Vince Albritton under the bus in Arizona
until
Jimmy.
Jeez, I gotta tell the truth. I'm not going to lie. You know what I mean? The truth is the truth. So you can't throw yourself on the sword to where you're lying.
Right.
I mean, that's just not being honest.
So anyway. 12 snaps. Can he get 24, 25? Next
sure.
gen.
I like the ramp up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next gen stats had him at 19.3 miles an hour on that play.
Oh, he can do better.
He
said.
Somebody asked him what was your top. He goes, I think it was like 22 point something.
I could see it. I could see it. And he can stop on a dime. See, it's not just about running fast.
If I'm not going,
but if you're running. I understand it's all computer generated or whatever, but if you're running right alongside Darius Slay, who's to say that the 19 miles an hour was Darius Slay's time and T.Y. was on the other side?
No,
you got to get rid of
it. You got the speed gun.
That's what he tells the policeman. That other car was going right along with me.
That was the other black truck.
Yep,
how do you know it was me?
But to me, you will talk about snap counts. The most impressive, I don't know about impressive, but unusual or scary for your defense, the snap count for the punters.
Non-existent.
There was one punt in the game, right? Was that it?
Come on, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, one punt.
I mean, we're going to play some defense here.
I know.
I mean, we're going to play some defense here.
Okay, but you know who played defense? Anthony Barr had his best game. And I know we've kind of picked on him a little bit.
He did.
55 snaps, and he was he tied for the lead or second for the lead in tackles?
And he almost made an interception.
And he had a very important fumble recovery.
Yeah, he did.
So that was an impressive performance by him.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you have so many plays where they're successful on the other side of the ball, you got to have somebody that's got to hold it down. And then we started talking about having poise, and I think that's what the defense did show. They didn't just collapse completely.
Right.
Even though we were giving up, they were moving the chains over and over again. We still had the poise to make the turnovers. And that reminds me so much of 81. You can say what you want about it. We gave up too many big plays.
Yeah.
The chains were moving too often.
And, again, no sacks.
No sacks.
And as a matter of fact, I think
now, that's not like 81. We had sacks.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other part was I don't think they had a quarterback hit. Now, how does that happen? But, again, they got zeroed out. But that last possession, when it got to the 19,
that pressure
was coming, right? They didn't hit him, but it came to the point he said, I got to get rid of the football.
The pressure was also there for the running back when he fumbled the ball.
Right.
Because first Parsons scared the heck out of him. He didn't know where he came from. He made an inside move, very abrupt. As soon as he got the ball, he's like, oh, there he is. He tries to move this way. There's Watkins. And then if I'm not mistaken, there was another D lineman that came in, D-Law.
Yeah.
D-Law came around, and I don't know, I couldn't tell if someone knocked it out of his hands, but I do know he was startled enough to where he was not conscious of what he was doing with the ball.
If I remember correctly, they gave Carlos Watkins, he had a forced fumble, so I'm
that
assuming
that was it.
It's on that play.
But it was very slight.
Yeah.
But it was enough to where it's like when you have running backs that have fumbles. I remember we were working with we were talking about Zeke at one point. He would get hit first, and that would stun you. So now you don't know whether you don't really have a concept where the ball is. Then it's the second hit that causes the damage.
Right.
Well, but the first hit was the one
you survive it, right?
You survive it.
And
with this one, it was a mental hit because when Parsons came inside, he immediately had to make a move he was not ready to make, and then he was trapped. as when he was trapped in there, and that's when Watkins slapped at it.
Is that what happened last night to the Arizona running back on the pitch out? It was Eric Scissors hands.
Right. I thought he hit him in the face first.
I thought so too. Yeah.
I mean, they could have ran out the game.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh,
that's right.
Mickey, as we close out Mick Shots, how about we mention the passing of Sam Blair? Sam Blair was the first professional football beat writer in North Texas, going back over 60 years ago. And I actually had just learned of his passing yesterday. I don't normally look at the obituary page, but I did.
Well, here it is.
Yesterday in the Dallas Morning News, and he actually passed away peacefully on December 11th, 2 weeks ago, at the age of 90.
Wow.
Woodrow Wilson High School, University of Texas. Just reading from his obituary here.
One of the nicest guys.
Yeah.
You know what? If somebody
41-year career at the Dallas Morning News. He was the lead sports columnist to the Dallas Morning News and sports editor. And for 41 years.
I talked to him all the time.
He was a contributor to the Cowboys Weekly, and even when it became the Star magazine. And look, he was inducted into the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame, the North Texas Legends from the Press Club of Dallas, and UT's Daily Texan Hall of Fame. So, I mean, he's been around. And you know what? When I knew somebody was going to ask me, what do you remember about Sam? Nicest guy you ever met.
Period.
Even when us newspapers were warring, he was always just
That's why I
nice.
like talking to him.
A real gentleman.
Because he was never that guy digging for anything.
Right.
It was just basically just a conversation.
And when we did our documentary on, I want to say it was called Black and White, maybe, on what the race situation was in Dallas in the early 60s and what the players had to deal with. Some of them, admitting they were playing with a black player for the first time in their lives because they went to Southern universities. Mm-hmm. And Sam was really good at remembering things, and it was a really fun. We went to his house, and it was a really fun interview with him. He was so gracious. Really nice guy.
Yeah. Also authored 9 books, including books on Roger Staubach, Bob Lilly, Earl Campbell, Grant Taft, and Lee Trevino, which tells you a lot about his relationship with
many different types of players in different sports.
And the trustworthiness that he had with those athletes and so
41 years.
I'm pretty sure that he has my quotes in a lot of his books because we talked a lot. And it was just good to talk. Like you said, it wasn't about, trying to got you questions or anything like that.
Well, I remember even doing our legend shows, and I can't remember specifically the players, but players from the 60s, they used to talk about relationship with the members of the media, and they would socialize with Sam Blair, after games and stuff. It just shows the difference.
You can trust him. There was no one trying to leak anything. Whatever you told him, it stayed in his safe.
Yeah. 90, so anyway,
90 years old.
Yep. Wow. Yep. So condolences to the Blair family and a lot of, in fact, as a kid growing up, and you may feel the same way, Everson, I just would open up my Dallas Morning News, and there was the Sam Blair column, Times Herald had Blackie Sherrod, and then he went to the Morning News later, but then Sam was the lead sports columnist. So.
A little difference between Blackie and Sam.
That's right. Yeah.
How about this? And this was an interesting note in his obit. It said, while covering the Cowboys game in D.C., a colleague introduced him to the White House correspondent, Karen Klinfelter. They married in 1970. So he met his wife covering a Cowboys game.
Wow.
How about that?
There you go. All right, that does it for this edition of Mick Shots, and we will shout at you again tomorrow, and we'll need to get Everson's picks to click as well.
We'll get them.
Okay.
Well, we're going to have to get everybody's picks.
That's right, but Everson is on the road tomorrow.
Oh,
so.
You mean ahead of time?
Yeah, that's right. All right, so we'll talk at you again noon tomorrow here on Mick Shots.
Go Cowboys.
And no mulligans this time.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!